Hey ladies and gents, this is Linda, Chic777, and today I'm coming at you with a guest design team project for Natasha's Scrapbook Corner. Now this particular project was just supposed to be a card, but you know, y'all know I don't do cards very easily. I mean, they're not designed very easily. So this card sort of turned into like a mini album slash gift card slash, I don't know, you choose what to call it. As you have probably seen by my title, I didn't know what to call it, so I called it a mini album gift card. Anyway, I'm going to move my sign out of the way and show you what I came up with, and here we go. All right. Here is the front of my mini album gift card. Valentine's, of course, for Valentine's Day. Natasha wanted us all this month, of course, since we are upcoming on the wonderful holiday, to create something to do with love and romance. And y'all know that's not difficult for me. So this is what I came up with. Now what I started with as a base was two 6x6 canvases, okay? And I'm going to turn it over, show you the back really quick. Yes, as you'll see, you can see some of the paper ripped off here. I'll explain that in a moment. But I left it that way. It doesn't bother me because I wanted this to be, you know, vintagey, a little bit shabby. So I don't mind that some of the paper is off the canvas, okay? And then I'm going to go ahead. As you can see here, there is a hinge. I have combined these two canvases together as a hinge, or with a hinge, to create kind of a mini album card, okay? Let me move that ribbon from the front out of the way. A little bit of crooked lace there. Not crooked, but wrinkled. That's the word I'm looking for. Anyway, so here is the top. And as you come down to it, here is the bottom. Okay? All right. So let's go back to the front. Now, like I said, I started with two 6x6 canvases. And for the front, I used some of the beautiful Bow Bunny paper that Natasha had sent me in my kit. And for the back, I used some of the Prima script paper, okay? Now, obviously, the front paper, you're not going to be able to see very well, but there it is on the side. It was kind of a scroll paper from the Enchanted collection. She sent me a couple sheets of that. And it's all the way, you know, on the sides, the front, and of course on the inside a little bit, but, you know, obviously got covered up. But this is what it started out like. And what I did is use the transfer method. And no worries, last time I showed you something with the transfer method, you all wanted to see a tutorial. That'll be coming up very soon. I kind of had to put a little delay on that because, you know, I hadn't been feeling very well. So I did the transfer method, and as you're rubbing off the, you know, the top layer of the paper, sometimes it can come off on the canvas. But like I said, I don't mind that. It kind of gives it a vintage worn look. But what I did, since kind of some big chunks did come off the canvas, you know, which I wouldn't normally do, but once I got everything off and exposed, I put a layer of Mod Podge over it so, you know, it wouldn't continue to peel. So I wanted to make sure I had that down, you know, covered really well. Okay, so let's go back to the front. I used quite a few different lines. I'm going to adjust my camera down here just a little bit. Paper lines and embellishments with this project. Let me grab my paper here because I had to write them down because I am not afraid to mix paper lines. If the colors match nicely, I don't mind it one bit, even with the embellishments. So what I used, obviously, was some paper that Natasha sent me from the Bow Bunny collection. I used some paper from the K & Company last year's release of the Valentine collection, which is this cute little heart paper. And then I used some Teresa Collins vintage find paper. Okay, I also used some, as you saw on the back, Prima script. I used some die cuts with a view, the Bella Armoire paper, because I did a lot of layering. I used some rosewood paper from the Color Box collection. Okay, and then I also used some paper from Fab Scraps. And what I did is I wanted to use, you know, the Bo Bunny paper collection was black with, you know, kind of a little bit of cream in it. And I wanted to kind of put some reds and pinks together. And the color box paper, this rose paper here, kind of has a red and cream mix, or red and pink mixture to it. So that's why I kind of went with the reds and the pinks, added some more creams because of the Bo Bunny collection, which you can kind of see back in here with some another sheet of Prima script paper. But anyway, I did a lot of layering on the front with that paper, and then obviously, as you see here, I sewed all the edges of my papers, except not on the canvas, of course, all the edges of my papers and tags and everything that you'll see in a minute. And then starting, let's see, above the layers of the papers, I used some of this chipboard, like chicken wire panel that I have, just a little section of that over here because I wanted to add some texture, because Natasha had also sent in her package some of this tulle, and she sent some feathers, which is this fun texture you're seeing going on here. Okay, so I wanted to add more texture that would go along kind of with feathers and tulle, so that's why I used some of this chicken wire here. You're also going to see some cheesecloth, which is tucked in and around here. You're also going to see some of this fun stuff, this kind of foamy texture stuff. So, funny story, I'm sitting here kind of putting this together, and I just wanted something underneath this love word to kind of help it stand out a little bit from this frame, and I'll get back to that in a moment. And laying on the floor in my craft room was some of that, that foamy, like, cabinet liner you can get, you know, to put in like your kitchen cabinets to set your dishes on and stuff. Only this one, as you can see, the weave is a lot more open. Well, I had got it at Dollar Tree, and it was actually in the bathroom section, and I think they were passing it off as, you know, foam mat to put in the bottom of your tub. But I loved how open weave it was, so when I looked at it, I'm like, huh, just might be a little fun extra texture under there. And so I added it, and I kind of like the effect. It's stinking cute. I love it. So anyway, back to the frame. This is a real pretty frame that I got from P in our most recent swap. It was already white, but what I did is quite a few layers of texture using gesso. And if you pounce up and down on it with a foam brush in between heat layers, about 3 layers, you'll kind of get this really soft texture. And that's what I did there, okay? And I wanted you to be able to see some of the papers through it and some of the chicken wire and the tulle in there, so I left a little area open. Okay, back to the love word. This is just a word I got at Michael's, and I covered it in gesso and then used Tim Holtz White Picket Fence Crackle Paint. And then I added, for texture on the embellishments and on my flowers, just some of my acrylic paint mixed with sand, okay? And by the way, when I show you the transfer technique, I know there's lots of videos here on YouTube with that, but you know, as I've said before, we don't always know all the channels out there. So when I show that technique, I will show you the ratio of sand to paint mixture that I often use to get this texture, okay? Because I've had a lot of questions, a lot of private messages on that, which I don't mind at all, but I need to get it out there in a video. And I think a technique video I had a while back, I was going to mix some on camera, but I was running out of time and didn't. So I will show you that. Anyway, back to the project. Over the top of the frame and the cheesecloth here, this is a chipboard piece that comes from the romance novel collection, because y'all know I like to put some kind of, you know, clock theme or something on my project. So I added it there, and plus it had the beautiful rose print on there that I thought went well with the collection. I've got, this is just a metal butterfly I got at a local craft store. I think it's a Fab Scraps metal butterfly. And then this is just a paper punch with one of my butterfly punches. I just now forgot the name of that. shoot, it's a punch, and it's a 3-layer punch, and you switch the little switch on it to get 3 different designs of the butterflies so that you can layer them. And then in the center, I have 3 little tiny little diamond gems here. Now over to the side on top of this feather, this is a chipboard scroll. I've got one here and one on the inside, and it came in my design team kit from Natasha's store. And then what I did over the top is I just covered it with a black texture. And this texture, I mixed black gesso with a little bit of sand because I didn't want it real lumpy. I just wanted it slightly lumpy. And then I went over it with the white texture paint, just, you know, kind of give a little snow effect there. Okay? And then well, I was going to say underneath, but because I was looking at the ticket. But on top of all this are flowers from my stash, a real beautiful kind of velvet flower going on in here. This flower is from Natasha's store. And I just added some texture to it. Little Prima flowers going on here. Underneath here, this fun little kind of berry spray came from Natasha's store. Now, little secret, this is in my next month's design team kit, but she sent 2 of them, and it was so cute. I had to steal one to put it on this project, so shh, don't tell Natasha. Anyway, I stuck that in there because I just thought it went with the project so well. I love the crystals of that, and then the little berries, and then of course the little stamen, and it's so tiny. I just love it. So cute, tucked in amongst little arrangements there, as you can see. And then underneath Natasha's flower here, I have an actual spring that I straightened up the top part of it, and then I stuck this little, I think it's 7 Gypsies little acrylic piece in there. Of course, it says ticket, good for 1 admission, because I just thought that was super cute. On top of my love, as you can see, you can't see the L, but it still looks like a L, right? What I did, and I like to kind of do it because I love to do a play on it sometimes, is I used one of the Prima resins from the last release. It's the Topiary, and I put it over the L to simulate the L, just to kind of give it a little fun element to it. Underneath that, because you're wondering where my XO is on my project, and I know you see it because you're looking at it, I have a Prima light bulb, and it said the word me on it. M as in Mary, E, me. I just scratched that off with my fingernail, and I used some rub-ons letters that said X and O, and added that to that cute little light bulb. Okay? Underneath this fun bathroom texture here going on is some beautiful scallop lace that Natasha sent me. This is, I think I mentioned on the video when I was showing her project, love this lace. Super cute little scallop lace. It looks like it's got little hearts in it. Love it. On top of that, or underneath that, I guess I should say, is I've got this little chipboard flower. It's from the Engraver collection, okay? And then I've got this chipboard word that I think my cousin Lori will be a little proud of me for using. This I got at our local, I don't remember, I was going to say Dollar Tree, but I don't think it was. But about 2 years ago, and Lori has started a little support group for all of us who need to use those products that we have been hoarding over the last year or two. So I brought this out and used it on my project. So I think she's going to be proud of me. Anyway, this is some silk ribbon from my stash. It's by May Arts, beautiful mauve color. From that, I hung a key. I think this is one of the Prima keys. And then on top, because you all know sometimes I like to add a little handle, so this is a little kitchen cabinet handle that I again used the texture technique using gesso and pouncing it up and down on top with a brush. And then this and this is from Prima. It's the little flathead, you know, screws that you could put on there, okay, from Finnabar, all right? So there is that. There's the front of my project. So now let's go into the top on the inside, okay? And let me move like my ribbon out of the way and my wrinkly ribbon over here, my lace driving me nuts. So this top, let me give you a little better look. Hold on just a minute. I'm going to bring my camera up a little bit so I can bring this, have the room to bring this up closer to the lens, okay? All right, here we go. There we go. So there is the top. What I wanted to do is kind of have a pocket on one side and then, you know, just kind of a I don't know, a love message on this left side. Texture I want to get rid of there. And since I wanted to create a pocket, I wanted to create the pocket out of a acrylic page, okay? And so what I did is one side is a pocket, and I sewed it to all my layers of paper underneath, and then sewed it down on this side to keep this side covered and yet keep this side open. Do you know what I'm saying? Because I didn't just want I wanted just the acrylic on both sides, but I wanted to keep this left side kind of romantic message, you know, protected, I guess you could say. And all my layers of paper underneath, you're going to see some of that cardboard underneath. I got these from P. It's from those, let me grab one down here. Hi, oy vey. I can't even, there it is. One moment, please. My voice is getting all far away. It's from the corrugated cards that she sent me, these cards. Basically, I just cut it in half and used that as my bottom layer. And then I layered papers on top and then layered the acrylic piece on top of that, sewed down the middle, slipped my embellishments in on this side, sewed down here, okay? And then I adhered the whole thing to the back of the canvas or the inside of the canvas. So that's how I got that look. I hope that was not too hard to explain. But you can see some of my layers of paper and stuff under there, okay? And you'll be able to see a little bit better once I remove these tags. But on this left side, this is from Teresa Collins Vintage Finds paper, some of her bingo paper, or bingo card paper, but I thought story, and this is a 7 Gypsies journaling tag here, so, you know, it's a crazy good story. And I have a little stamp here that says Molto Bello, which means very beautiful, okay? And then this is another stamp here, and this is from Allie Edwards stamp, and it says, "The story means the world to me." It's layered on top of another little 7 Gypsies ticket here. And then on top of that, I laid a little Recollections lamppost, okay? In the center, because I had lace that I kind of wanted to cover the pocket on this side with, I added another one of those scrolls that I got from Natasha in my design team package. And again, I'm going to turn it sideways. I textured the top of it, as you can see there. Kind of gives it a little bit of a vintage look, I think. And this pocket on this side is not sewed down, okay? And I'm going to raise my camera up just a little bit more even. I wanted it to leave it open because it's kind of hard to see because it is acrylic. So I wanted it to be open to be accessible to move the tags in and out that I have placed in there, okay? And now you can see some of, I'll turn it this way, some of the paper that's layered on that corrugated cardboard underneath. But see, all needs to be done is you just lift this end or this end here to access the pocket to slide the tags into. Okay, so let me show you the tags really quick. All my tags I sewed and distressed them. This tag is from the K & Company Valentine collection. Okay, and then this tag is a 7 Gypsies tag. I chose all my tags that would be kind of romantic, and if, you know, the person I send this to wants to add pictures and stuff and they want to do a little journaling, there's room to do that. Okay, and then there's this tag. And I'm not recalling the line I got this from. It's one of my favorites, but all of a sudden I'm having a brain fart. Can't remember. Okay, and then this is from, this is a tag from the Jody Lee Delight collection, and I just added an Allie Edwards stamp on there. I know, right? Totally romantic. So, you know, to go into the pocket, you just kind of lift a corner up and you can slide those in. Real nice and easy. And if this person wanted to slide just a little picture in there or something, they could as well and not use the tags. I made it very versatile. Okay, in the center I used a hinge. This is just a hinge hardware from my stash, and I textured it with that black gesso mixed with sand. Okay, on the bottom you can see again a lot of my layering with that corrugated cardboard and some of the K & Company Valentine paper. I actually layered like a piece of canvas on top of that, and then I made a little pocket, and you can see the pocket, the design of it right here. This pocket, I got the design from an actual envelope from, or a card from Michael's. You can get those blank cards and envelopes, and I like the shape of it, so I just used that to trace out of paper my envelope, or I wanted it to be like a file folder, I guess I should say. So I used that to trace like my quote unquote file folder. Okay, and on the front of that, let's start with this first. I placed, this is a romance novel journal tag. Okay, down at the bottom, this is just some beautiful lace from my stash. Okay, this is a Prima, one of the little bridges, resin pieces. This is a piece of a Prima vine I cut apart. Okay, here's another one of Natasha's flowers that I used on here. Love it. And this is one of Natasha's beautiful little resin hearts with the little diamond trim around the edge. These are so pretty. And then down right below the little flower, I've got just a little birdcage charm hanging there, and that's from my stash. Okay. Now, behind all these flowers and on top of the little romance journal tag, I've got this little chipboard heart from my stash, okay, and I just kind of textured it up a little bit. And then I had this vellum quote also from my stash that I added to the front of that. I sewed it and then just kind of glued it up underneath here so it would stay in place. And of course it says, of all the music that reached farthest into heaven, it is the beating of a loving heart. I know, I love it. And so to hold this file folder closed, because you know, if you open and close this and you were to open this little mini album / card, this file folder would just pop open. So what I did, and let me turn it over real quick, is I took this whole ensemble when I glued it down and I kind of moved it over a little bit so it hung off this left edge. Okay, see that? So that you could use this little Prima romance novel clothespin to keep it closed. Okay, and then plus when this whole thing is closed, it adds some little fun texture hanging off the side. Okay, so let's open my cute little file folder, and I'm undoing the clip and opening the file folder. Now the paper I used for this was from Fab Scraps. It's a double-sided paper. It's got like this lacy floral on one side and this cute polka dot on the other. So that was perfect for creating a little file folder. Let me move all my tags for a minute. And then you can see underneath how that looks. Okay. So it's kind of just a little hidden gem in there. And I'm going to show you, I left this so, you know, pictures could be put in here. And some of the tags I made, of course, I made it so pictures could be added to it. So this, again, is from the Teresa Collins Vintage Find. It's the little bingo paper. It's double-sided. And I chose this because this says charming. And then there's the bingo card up there that says story. So this is a charming story. I know! Anyway, so there's that. We can just stuff that in our little file folder. And then I have some of these little library card tags that came from 7 Gypsies. And so on the front of them, I've sewn some embellishments. This is a 7 Gypsies tag, again. So it makes me happy, of course. And on the back, this person can add a photo if they want, okay? And I know, you know, this would be all closed, so why add a photo? But remember, I have this little pocket up here. See, this person could use like the back of this and have their little photo hanging out over here. And then if they, you know, came out, they've got the back side is at least decorated, right? Okay. And then they could take all these tags and shove them in the pocket. So they can kind of switch tags, switch photos, made it so it was fun that way. Okay, so there is that cute little tag. Here is another one of those library pockets, and this is another little 7 Gypsies tag. I just thought it was cute. It's like a little ticket. And then on the back, again, a photo can be placed. Okay, this is a 7 Gypsies ticket. I love these. I have a whole stash of these. These are just fun. Okay, this is a piece from the Bow Bunny collection Natasha sent me. It's this quote, and it says, I loved you yesterday. I love you still. I always have. I always will. I know. Romantic. Love it. So anyway, and I just added some of that K & Company Valentine paper to the back. This was actually a big chipboard piece, and you can see how thin it is. Basically what I did is I tore the chipboard part of it off the back because I couldn't have it too bulky so that this would close okay. And so then to cover the back of the mess, added some paper there. Okay, and in this last little tag, back you can use for a picture. Seven Gypsies library tag, and I layered just a bunch of fun elements on the front of that. This is some fabric, a little rectangle piece of fabric, and I, you know, tore threads out of it to fringe all around the edges. Then I added like a little K & Company Valentine tag to it. Says to the one I love. And then I added another little tag here from one of my collections, which I can't remember. And then I added a little bird die cut here from also one of my collections, which I can't remember. But anyway, so there's that pretty little tag, just, you know, to give it that romantic shabby feel. And then close it all up. Clip it down here in the bottom nice and close so nothing falls out. Close up your little album, mini album / card, and there it is. Okay, I hope you enjoyed this project. I had a lot of fun making it. This is going to be super duper hard to let go of, but you know, I will, because you know, I like to make things for people. And on a personal note, before I say goodbye, a couple of days ago, or yesterday, I was watching a couple of video responses from a couple of friends of mine who are also my subbies, and they were doing a video response to a birthday challenge. And in the challenge of their video response, they were to remember and give us, you know, out of the thousands of our favorite YouTube channels, you know, who is their favorite YouTube channel right now, with no disrespect to any other YouTube channel. But both of them, Rina and Maggie, you both mentioned me. I am honored that you mentioned me as your favorite YouTube channel. It gives me great joy to share with everybody, you know, the crafts I create, which are, you know, from my hands, from my heart, but from God's brain, because I don't know how I think of this stuff up. And I am so excited that if I could even bring one person some inspiration, that's all worth it to me. Whether I have one subby or 10,000 subbies, you know, making a difference in one person's life is my ultimate goal. And you both made me cry, and you made me feel special, and big hugs to you both, and mwah, I love you both. Thank you so much. So everybody, sorry for a little personal message, but I wanted to put it in there. Thank you for sharing your time with me. I will put Natasha's link to her store down below, and I'll talk with you soon. Bye.